On this Friday, we will start with a statement from the Secretary General, followed by a statement from the Supreme Allied Commander Europe. Secretary General, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, General Krinkovic, the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, for joining me here in Brussels today. In the early hours of Wednesday, September 10th, numerous Russian drones violated Polish airspace. NATO's air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory. Whilst this was the largest concentration of violations of NATO airspace that we have seen, what happened on Wednesday was not an isolated incident. Russia's recklessness in the air along our eastern flank is increasing in frequency. We have seen drones violate our airspace in Romania, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Whether intentional or not, it is dangerous and unacceptable. At a meeting of the North Atlantic Council on Wednesday morning, allies discussed the situation in light of Poland's request for Article 4 consultations. Allies expressed full solidarity with Poland and denounced Russia's reckless behavior. NATO's core task is to deter aggression and defend every member of this alliance against whatever threats we face. Safeguarding our eastern flank is of utmost importance. This is why we have forward land forces deployed in 8 countries, with contributions from every ally supporting these contingents, and plans in place to scale up our presence if and when required. We have air defenses, ground, sea and air-based systems. Here too, with contributions from allies across Europe and North America working together every day to ensure that we are prepared and ready to defend every inch of Allied territory. We stood up Baltic Sentry at the beginning of this year to help safeguard critical infrastructure from reckless behavior in the Baltic Sea. And today, General Krinkovic and I are here to announce that NATO is launching Eastern Sentry to bolster our posture even further along our eastern flank. This military activity will commence in the coming days and will involve a range of assets from allies including Denmark, France, United Kingdom, Germany and others. In addition to more associated with the use of drones. Eastern Sentry will add flexibility and strength to our posture and make clear that as a defensive alliance, we are always ready to defend. I am confident in the strength and ability of this alliance, not least because of the excellent leadership of our top brass. So let me pass the floor to General Krinkovic to provide a bit more detail about how we are reinforcing our posture through Eastern Sentry. General, you have the floor.
Thank you, Secretary General. It's a great honor to be here by your side in Brussels for this important announcement, one that will strengthen our defenses. Integrated and layered air defenses, both air and ground-based, will be key as we move forward. This was on top of everyone's mind in the Baltic states, where I just returned from a short while ago. My conversations with leaders in Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia focused on NATO's response to the reckless and dangerous act that occurred in Poland earlier this week. I am incredibly proud of our response. It was decisive and it was effective, and it speaks to the capability and professionalism of 32 allies working together. As the Secretary General just mentioned, this decisiveness will continue with Eastern Sentry. Although the immediacy of our focus is on Poland, this situation transcends the borders of one nation. What affects one ally affects us all. This is an issue that impacts all of the alliance, and we will treat it as such. Eastern Sentry will be flexible and agile, delivering even more focused deterrence and defense exactly when and where needed. It will include additional enhanced capabilities. It will integrate air and ground-based defenses, and it will increase information sharing amongst nations. Foremost, it will even further strengthen our posture to shield and protect the alliance. Allies stand in solidarity with Poland and are committed to this endeavor. We have already seen announcements on the deployment of forces from France, Germany, Denmark, and the United Kingdom. We will also work with Allied Command Transformation, as we did in Baltic Sentry, to rapidly experiment and field new technologies, such as counter-drone sensors and weapons. Poland and citizens from across the alliance should be assured by our rapid response earlier this week and our significant announcement here today. NATO will continue to defend every inch of its territory.
Thank you, General Grinkovich, and I'm grateful to you and your team for the quick and decisive work you have done over the last days, and indeed every day of the year, to keep our people safe. Indeed, I'm also grateful to our Supreme Allied Commander Transformation, Admiral Pierre Vondier. He is playing a key role on how we innovate and adapt our technology and tactics to address whatever new and novel challenges we may face, including from drones. NATO is a defensive alliance, and it is our job to ensure that we are doing all that is necessary to deter and defend. The reckless behavior we have seen from Russia is deeply dangerous. Our assessment of the incidents on Wednesday is ongoing. And whether or not Russia's actions were deliberate, Russia violated NATO airspace. Therefore, we must, as NATO, make clear our resolve and our ability to defend our territory. And that is exactly what Eastern Sentry is designed to do. It will bolster our posture, add flexibility to our approach, and ensure the safety and security of our eastern flank. Thank you so much.
All right, we have time for several questions. We'll start in the center, second row, Associated Press.
Yes, Lorne Cook from Associated Press. A question for both of you. There risks being, you're sending more resources to the eastern flank, and there risks being competition now between what Ukraine needs and what the allies are requiring themselves. Isn't it time to start allowing allies on the east to actually start firing at missiles and drones that are in western Ukraine when they're coming toward the border? In fact, isn't it time just to integrate entirely with Ukraine, because you're facing the same enemy anyway?
So, sir, thank you for the question. What I would say is Eastern Sentry is focused on the defense of alliance territory. As of right now, I see no conflict between the support that individual nations are providing to Ukraine and what they are offering to contribute to this effort.
All right, Agence France Presse.
Thank you very much. One question for the Secretary General and one for Saka, please. Max Delaney, AFP. Secretary General, NATO crossed a Rubicon the other day by shooting down Russian aircraft over Allied territory for the first time. Is NATO now closer to war with Russia than it's ever been? And to Saka, you've said repeatedly that this was a successful operation by NATO to shoot down these drones, but it seems that you only shot down a handful of the drones, which was a far lower rate than Ukraine achieves. Was this really a success, and is it sustainable to keep on shooting down drones with multi-million-dollar aircraft and expensive equipment? Thank you.
To your first question, what this shows is that we will defend every inch of NATO territory, every inch of Allied territory, all 32 allies. And whatever the intent was behind this, yes or no, and whether it was a mistake or not, we are still looking into that. It was reckless, it was unacceptable. These are Russian drones, and it is extremely serious what happened last Wednesday. So obviously, we would not be sitting here like this if then NATO would not immediately come into action and defend every inch of territory. This Allied territory is exactly what we have done. And in the end, it's up to Russia how far they will take this. We will defend ourselves. We are a defensive alliance, not an offensive alliance. We will defend this beautiful 32 alliance established in 1949, and will make sure that our 1 billion people stay safe and stay free.
Sir, for the part of the question that you directed to me, I do think it was a highly successful operation intercepting the drones that we did with the Dutch F-35s and the other assets that contributed to that. As successful as we are, we always learn something in the debrief, as we would say in the fighter business. And so we are always looking for ways to enhance, to learn from the smallest tactical error to how we're approaching certain problems. In my judgment, the scale of the incursion the other day was obviously larger than previous incursions that we've had. So bringing additional resources to bear on this problem will help to solve that. So that's why we're starting this operation the way we are. I'll also highlight the comment I made about working with Allied Command Transformation and Admiral Vandier. That is an effort to ensure that we get lower cost weapons that we can use to defend ourselves, to make this a sustainable operation over time. And as SACEUR, one of my responsibilities is to make sure that we don't just defend today, but that we're set up to defend tomorrow. And the last comment I'll make is when there's a fighter pilot that's in the air or someone on the ground who's defending the alliance, I don't want them thinking about how much their weapons cost. I want them defending our citizens.
We'll move to this side of the room. Third row, Reuters.
Thank you. Andrew Gray from Reuters. Question for the Secretary General. Do you consider the response from the United States, particularly from the President, sufficient so far when he said, "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go." And have you spoken to President Trump about this? If so, what was the content of the message? If not, why have you not spoken to him? And for the Supreme Allied Commander, can you tell us whether any US military assets were involved in the response to this incident? And if not, why not? And can you also give us more details of this new activity, the size, the scale of the operation? Thank you.
To your first question, I think the American reaction was very clear by the American president, also by the